demonstrate it for us, the winning technique here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Poor Abasov. Got a feel for him. Just coming up against genius endgame play.
But this is the candidates, yeah. This is what we are expecting from the players, and that's why we always felt like, yes, Abasov is a very strong player, but he's up against the very, very best in the world, yeah, and that's why we are so worried for him, yeah. It's just not easy to fight these monsters.
Yeah, he's got a tough task, and on the one hand, the pressure is off. Nobody's expecting him to go 50%. But once you enter the meat grinder and you start losing games, it can be so easy to lose whatever confidence you came in with. And he made some nice confident draws, held Jan, held Hikaru, but just suffering with the black pieces, suffering for what seems like the whole game. And even though he's got his chances, he just isn't always able to demonstrate the same level of precision in critical moments that we've gotten so used to from all of his opponents, and definitely from Praggnanandhaa, who just continues to wow with his maturity, his approach to chess, and his ability to play a very wide variety of openings and demonstrate filigree precision even with the clock ticking down. A4, I think that's the secret sauce. And that might trigger resignation, because rook takes f5 and a5 is, I think, to my eyes, unstoppable.
Yes. I have the same feelings, and I do recall reading some very early interviews from Prague from a couple of years ago that his favorite chess book is the book by Dvoretsky and Pervakov, this Endgame Tactics. Yeah, and if we know exactly what kind of material you are witnessing in that book, and then you relate it to this position with knight d7 and everything that is together, it's basically one to include in a new edition. Yeah, it's just Prague's answer to this book and what he has learned from it.
Yeah, so impressive. You saw him tapping his head there, Prague. He's just calculating, he's just counting, and this construction, the white knight totally dominates the black bishop. Just literally, as you pointed out earlier, Daniel, just no way to stop the white a pawn just cruising, strolling down the board. White's going to make a new queen, pretty much by force. That's why the eval bar on the left of the board there has rocketed sky high. Abasov, he's just got to pray that a4 won't happen, but it's so logical. And
prayers not answered.
Yeah, there it is.
And he's got no answer for that a pawn. I mean, I keep coming back to this line: rook takes a5, b takes a5, and even without the supplementary pawn on a4, it would still be losing, just like out of a study. I mean, it's a good visualization exercise for the viewers. Imagine rook a5, b5. Both the c5 and b6 and b8 squares are controlled by that knight on d7. The f pawn controls the e3 square. Literally everything is dominated, everything is controlled, and Abasov trying one last desperate throw of the pawn. What is the most precise one here? Can you still take the rook and play a5? Or does that blunder something?
I think you can. Although the black king does get nearer.
No, it wins. Takes an a5.
G takes f2.
A6.
Takes f2. Okay, bishop e3.
And knight c5.
Whoa. Okay.
I know how Danya's mind is working. Yes, I spotted immediately knight c5. Thanks that you were confident enough to go for the line.
And most importantly, Prague is confident enough to go for the line. It's always easy from the side.
I think we'll see that variation we mentioned play out. Knight c5, the killer touch at the end, but very forcing, very linear, very direct. And Abasov, he's going to capture white's pawn on f2. He needs to create a square for the black bishop to try and defend, but not enough.
Yeah. Ignore.
I think after knight c5, we'll see the handshake. Wow. Here we go. A new queen, soon to be born.
The pawn on b4 plays the auxiliary role. It's like Oscar for supporting actress. Without that pawn, the knight would not have been able to intercept the bishop. Perhaps bishop e3, b5 is also winning, but far less aesthetically pleasing than just the retreating knight move. Having done its job on d7, and what a job it did on d7, the knight moves back triumphantly to deliver one last crushing blow to Abasov's hopes of a good candidates tournament. Yeah, resignation here, resignation on the next move. The result is not in question. And Praggnanandhaa continues just to impress. Big, big win right here in round 6.
Yeah, he will be back to plus score, yeah? Because let's not forget he started with this very unfortunate loss, being too aggressive against Gukesh in the second round, or when it was. And then he bounced back with 2 victories, and he will be +1, just half a point behind the leaders, all to play for.
Yeah, and he just needs to look ahead. Today's been a great display of calmness from Pragg, but he shouldn't look to the past. Missed opportunity yesterday. Imagine if he'd beaten Jan Nepomniachtchi after that opening prep from a dominant position. He would be the sole leader right now. Yeah, just incredible. Or at least he'd be joint leader with Gukesh. But yeah, it looks like in the meantime, Abasov coming to terms with things. Yeah, just tough scenario for him. Again, with black, unfortunately, it's tough against the top players in the world.
Yeah.
And there we go.
Yeah. Resignation by Abasov. What a performance by Praggnanandhaa, and he's up there with a +1 score, half a point behind the leaders.
Wow. Just a tour de force, particularly the final few moves are going to be replayed. They're going to be in the recap articles, and just another feather in the cap